How are you? Hi, habari zenu, hamjamboni. My name is Nyashangoloma. Welcome to Awake Again.
Fear is the greatest emotion that human beings go through because it is such a strong emotion. Some of them are perceived, others are true, others are not. So it's an emotion that we really need to manage as human beings. And as you're saying, if we come back to the context of coming from a broken home or a family that parents separated or divorced, it is so easy for you to fear because of your background. I would tell people we should not look at our background and let it which is this word, dictate, dictate who we are going to be. So for people who fear getting married or settling down because maybe the parents separated, I want to tell them that having a positive mindset, having a positive mindset and say, you know what, I know my parents' marriage did not work, but mine has to work. You have to have a very positive mindset, because what happens with our thought patterns, whatever you think about, and it's even scriptural that as a man thinketh, so he is. So if you keep thinking negative things, like marriage in a negative way, definitely you will not get married. I keep saying every marriage is unique. I also come from a broken home. My mom and dad separated and I was in home too. But here I am, happily married. This is our 15th year. Wow. And yes, and it just took that step of saying, you know what, I'm gonna change my story. I'm gonna change my story. You look at yourself in the mirror and say, mine is gonna be different, and I'm going to keep it positive. You need to watch your thought patterns, because your thoughts lead to your emotion. Then your emotion gives you a reaction, then the reaction gives you results. So if your thought on marriage is negative and you're like, my parents didn't work, mine does not work, that thought, then the negative emotion is that they don't work, it goes to the trash can. But if it's a positive thought, you say, okay, marriage is exciting, then the emotion that comes with that is joy. I'm gonna be happy, I'm gonna travel the world, maybe have fun with my spouse, you know.
Wow, just put a thumbs up hapo kama you are being blessed, because mimi nabarikiwa hapa sana. And maybe something else that I'd like to ask. So you're a single parent, and you know, for whatever reasons, maybe it's divorce, maybe it's you're a widow, maybe it's a deadbeat dad who just, you know, you got pregnant and they disappeared on you. And then now you're starting to date. Like now you're ready to date, you're ready to move on. First of all, what is the right time? Is there a right time? You know, because from how we see it, no one talks about it, you know. So it's like, if you have a child, that's a death sentence. You know, it's like if actually there's this thing of if a man accepts you when you have a child, it's like mkubali tu, you know, even if he's hata anaweza kukupiga, he's violent, you know, it's like we mkubali tu. Unajua uko na mtoto, azinani anaweza kukubali na mtoto, we mkubali tu, you know. So it's like it's seen as this thing where you have a child, mwisho wako ndio umefika, you know. So is that like, what's the right time for this person to finally say, okay, I'm ready to go out there? You know, is there a right time? And if there's a right time, or if there isn't a right time, if it's whatever answer you give, what's the right how to do it? You know, how do you date when you have a child in the mix? Do you introduce them? What's the right time to introduce them to each other? What's the right time to move in? There are people who will move in, you know, who will move in with the guy, or the guy will come and move in with them, and they just start living like a family, you know. How do you tell your kid to call this person? You know, do they call them Rafiki ya mami ama Rafiki ya daddy? Uncle daddy. Ooh, Uncle daddy, you know. I'm a daddy, you know, like what is the right what and why and how and when, you know, like about this whole thing, like when it comes to dating now for a single parent.
I think first of all, I would want to say there's no right time in terms of years. Like I cannot say 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 20 years. No. The first step is your healing. Are you healed? And not necessarily for a divorce or separation, but even for young girls who are dating, don't just jump from one relationship to another like a rebound. You are first to understand why didn't the relationship work in the first place. Why didn't it work? Then now go for therapy if you must. If you cannot do some people do self-talks, self-reflection, self-talk, and you say, here, I did this, but I wouldn't go this direction again, I'll go this. You can even go for coaching, so that you're not repeating the same mistakes. And you expect that relationship will hold water. But I want to come back to the focus of single parents. I think that is where your focus is. But that one was just on a general place that any breakup,
any kind
you have to heal first.
Hata ya job. Unatoka kwa kazi. There are some jobs. Sometimes I feel like I quit certain jobs because of my fast experiences in very toxic working environments. So you find that because you never healed from this painful experience, you just go on with your life with that thing of me amtaniambia kitu by the unafanywa even you're gone. So it's a pattern. You're just always going.
No, it's important to heal, especially to understand the why. You have to ask yourself, and not only single parents, any dating for that matter, what is it that I'm looking for? Because some people just date. That's why you're having so many marital cases right now, because of foundational issues. The foundations were all wrong. You are dating for the wrong reason. You're getting married because maybe your child is growing older, and what you had said earlier, you just settle for less because now niko na mtoto, anyone can walk over me.
Ama niko na mtoto ameshafika 10 years.
Hapana.
The gap is too big. I just need to just start giving back very fast.
So first, get healing. Number 2, don't be desperate. If God said you're going to get married, after ukiwa 50 years, you'll get married to that person at God's appointed time. So don't do it out of desperation. Number 3, the first one is get healing. Number 2, don't do it out of desperation. Number 3, what are you looking for in a spouse? What is the motivation for getting married? And then number 4, what is it that how will it affect the child or the children? Some people are so lucky they have 3 kids and they still get married. I was reading an article yesterday of a flamboyant lawyer, and he married somebody with 2 daughters. So it doesn't really, kama mtu amekupenda watoto isikuwe ati ndio the reason. So you have to, my husband likes telling people, write down the qualities of what you want in a spouse or in a relationship. And then, so that also when you're meeting someone, you have a checklist. And you can easily say, hapana. There are those that are very, very minimums. Yes, there are those that are deal breakers. And there are those that you can say, none of us is perfect. The word of God says we all fall short of God's glory. So if you have a list of 10, out of that 10, maybe there are 4 that are non-negotiable. For example, if you're a believer, you don't marry an unbeliever. As in, you don't get unequally yoked. Number 2, there are those that for sure, for me, my deal breakers may not be the same as you, but for all believers is that one, you cannot be equally yoked. And then number 2, maybe somebody that you have the same hobbies or something. So you just have to have that list. Somebody kind, somebody who loves you, depending on what you want. So once you have that list, you can say 7 out of 10, I can manage, but kuna zile critical. There are those that are core. A man that fears God or a woman that fears God. I've come to realize when you talk of single parents, the assumption is women. There are single fathers out there who are also going through a lot of stress. Because especially for them, because the society is just like, what? It's like, are you widowed? It's like, that's the only reason, So, and if it's divorced, it's like, and you have the kids, So I think when you talk of single parents, it's very important to let it be for both men and women. So after you have that list now, when you meet somebody, you're able to tell, this is the person or this is not. And then also the point of introducing the children, I don't believe in introducing them like on your first date, on your second date. And even if you're going to do it in one of the dates, you actually maybe do a lunch and just say, this is my friend. Don't say this is my boyfriend. And then now the child starts wondering, dad akona boyfriend, mama akona I mean either parent that is missing. So you just do like a lunch and say, this is my friend when they're having lunch. And they live and then there's something about God, that he will connect. If he wants that to be your spouse, he will connect in a very special way that the child will say, Mom, I like your friend. I think she's a good lady.
Yeah.
Or if it's a man, I like your friend is a good man. There's something good about him. Yeah. So when you get, you involve, actually the word here is involving those kids in your journey of dating. So that you're not just, unadate huyu unaona hapana, unachukua mwingine. So the child gets confused.
I meet very many people.
Yes. Like I remember when we were in primary school, we had neighbors and the lady had like divorced. But there's a guy who used to come to our place. So of course when you are playing, we ask, hey, who is that? Yeah. That's Uncle Daddy. That is where I got the name from. Wow, Uncle so Daddy. We are in primary, we are not understanding these things. It's now late. Now when our big brother said Uncle Daddy means, huyu ni uncle na ni daddy, but sasa si daddy, sio, so you confuse that brain, that small brain, you really confuse it, So there's no really right or wrong time, but the most important, get the healing, don't be desperate, don't settle for less, and then join, like we have single parents ministry, join a support group so that you also understand what are the other challenges that other single parents are going through, and dating will also be discussed in the process.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. What about moving in?
Moving in. Swingaja mimi ni pastor. Siwezi kuambia moving.
I know. Hebu niambie kwanza hiyo ya moving in. Sasa kama nime move in, sasa what do I do? Ni hang. Kama
umesha move in and things are working out, make it official.
Okay.
You see, there's something about the families, both two families meeting and getting. In fact, the Bible says in Psalms 133, where there's unity, commands a blessing.
Yes.
So in both families, sio mnaficha. So my mom knows I'm staying with this guy. Even the parents wanashanganga na watoto wanaishi pamoja. Si basi waende kanisa ama wafanye tu kitu sheria house. As in, you need to formalize that union so that you're not wasting each other's time. And then also, of course, the legal angle of it. But in our church, we have we have a marriage blessing class for people who are staying together and they want to solemnize their union. Wow. So we take you through 13 weeks. Actually, it's 12 sessions. Then the 13th week, we graduate you so that you understand the marriage covenant. Marriage is not come we stay. You understand this covenant that you're getting into. What does it entail? We handle topics like conflict resolution, financial management, parenting basics, communication, sex and intimacy. So don't just be there. And then for women, there's something about, I remember there's a friend of ours, just when we were getting married in 2006, they are friends of ours, they were in a Kamwiste. And now the guy came and told us, me, I want to buy this lady a house. And she's refusing, atijua hatujafanya nini? Hatujaoana. Wow. So we were telling him, there's something about marriage, or rather wedding, getting that marriage certificate. It comes with some security for the lady. It is more important even than whatever. So you can still buy her the house, but first things first. So, and you don't have to do a big wedding. Right now in ICC, we're having weddings. After your 70, ilikuwa kubwa sana. Now I'm having weddings for 8 people. Wow. The best couple, the parents, the pastor, and the photographer. Wow. Actually 10 people na mmefanya harusi. Because people have a mindset, harusi lazima ikuwe sherehe kubwa, it must be a big thing, it is expensive. So most people in Akamwiste, they use that as an excuse. We don't have money for a wedding. Hatuna pesa ya wedding na tushaka pamoja. So si mambo na pesa. Marriage certificate, Sharia house, it is so it's 600. Yes, it is 800, 600 thereabout. So just make it formal, because like now these friends of ours, we gave them my wedding gown. Wow. I saw she used my wedding gown. Wow. Our fellowship was the worship team, was everything. And now after that they bought the house. Wow. But you see, the man was thinking, mimi nakubaya nyumba au naongea story ya harusi. Na wazazi wanajuana, but yes, hamjafanya official. So it's always good to just do the right thing. Always do the right thing.
Plus there's also that, as you've said, there's that thing that comes now, that security and even respect that comes for both of you. You get to enjoy a certain level of, it's like God puts you to another level. And even the law of the country puts you on another level. Because I've seen, like, when you do the come we stay, even for sometimes for some family, like extended family members, they don't know how to refer to you. So it's like, if you have a child, at least they can say huyu ni mama nani, you know, but they can't say ati huyu ni mke wa nani, because if they feel like are you a wife really, they feel like huyu wanaishi na, you know, nika wanaishi na nani, you know, yani it's just, there's a way that even for you don't feel secure in that space, even when, and then you see, I always believe that there's always purpose in everything. You know, there's always a godly given purpose, a big thing that God wants to do with you, ama to other people through you. So, for example, like now, me and Noel being married, there's a spiritual and, I don't want to say legal, but just a spiritual like thing that God is allowing me to do. There's a change that I can effect in their family that I wouldn't have like affected as a girlfriend or as a come we stay, because for example
recognized.
Plus even in the spiritual realm, like there are things that I can now do, there are things I can speak over that family because I am part of that family. So when I'm praying and I'm saying, Lord, this is what I want to see in my family, I am also speaking about this family. But you see, if God doesn't recognize us as a unit. When I'm saying my family, it's just me, my sister, my mother, my father, my you know, my cousin, my just my people. But when it's official, there's that respect, you know, the favor
covenant.
The favor before he who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor, you know. And I believe it's before God and man. You know, so at least you're able to say, you know, this is my wife, you know. My friend, usiende huko una-introduce you to like, huyu ni Emma. You know, it's like, introduce, you know, it's like, you should be able to just be very proud of your partner and you say, this is my husband, you know. You say, oh, our anniversary is in a year. See, anniversary yenye tena, you're not sure ni dating anniversary ni, you know. I think that's awesome. Thank you so much. And I'll definitely be calling you back. Actually, you'll be seeing her almost all the time, talking about all these family issues and these things that affect our generation, and unfortunately no one is talking about them. So maybe now in this segment I'll just ask you a few random questions. Feel free to just give us the answer that is in your whatever comes, just say. So question 1, I'd like to know, what's the one thing that you knew to be true about being a single parent? Like you are so sure that this is what will happen, that now you've come to see that was like false, it was a lie from the enemy.
Okay, one of the things that I see, or rather I may say many single parents go through, or people say people from single parents don't thrive. They amount to nothing. Yet now I've seen so many children from single parents that are doing so well. And it is not because of, it is because of the value system. You see, you could be a single parent, but the values that you're instilling in that child, they are so godly. They are so good that they turn out so well. Yet you'll find a family that is dysfunctional, no values, no rules, no nothing. The child just turns out into something else. So that's a stereotype, and it's also a myth that people from single parent families don't make it in life. But I know so many who are thriving. They are thriving.
Awesome.
And then it's not you see, and then there's something about choice. You see, no one chooses where they were born, and at the same time, thriving is a choice. So you can say, fine, I'm from this kind of family, but I'm going to make it. Yes.
Awesome. Another question. What would you say to a single parent? Like someone has just discovered that maybe they're pregnant and their boyfriend amesha mwambia siko kwa hiyo story. Or someone who's just been divorced, or someone who's even going through a divorce, or someone who's been widowed. What would you tell them? What is the one thing that you think will carry them?
What I can tell them, if you're in any of those categories, there is hope. And I will repeat it again, there is hope. And there is nothing in this world that you cannot overcome. And I don't know about your faith, but the faith that I profess, God always sees us through our most difficult moments. And I have testimony after testimony. I thank God Nyasha says she'll invite me over and over again. But just have hope and know that your past does not define your future. You can always pick up the broken pieces and move on. You can always make a change in your life and become a testimony. And I believe strongly that whatever happens in your life, whether good or bad, there's a reason why. If it is divorce, I know as a pastor, as a believer, I don't advocate for divorce. But if it has already happened or you're in the process of that, just know that it is not the end of life. And I know there are programs for people going through divorce, and I've seen people going through that program, and at the end of it, they're able to get healing, to get restoration, to be able to forgive their spouse. Some have even remarried to their spouses after, because of just going through the process and understanding that it was not like a life and death situation. So even if your parents are separated, there is hope. If you're coming from right now you're hurting, you've just gotten a phone call that your girlfriend or your boyfriend has broken up with you, there is hope. I think my message is there is hope.
Wow.
There is hope, and just do a self-awareness, do a self-assessment, reflect on your life. What can you do differently? How can you start all over again? Because our God is a God of second chances. Yes.
Awesome. And maybe the last question, what would you say to the society in general? And by the society, I'm thinking of the colleagues, the colleagues who will come and see you, maybe, you're expecting, and they know that maybe you're single, or your parents, and they're looking at you and they're wondering, umetuletea mimba, surely umetuaibisha. Your extended family, who will always speak in their circles out there, but you'll always see it on their faces. They'll never get the guts to tell you, but you just live in that life where everyone is seeing me differently. And by the way, even before you answer that question, for example, for you, when you found out that, oh, I'm pregnant, like, were you happy? Because, how are you feeling already? Maybe just so that even as you answer the next question, the question I've asked about the extended, the society in general, how should they view this person? Like, how are you feeling in your mind, you as the person who, you're the single parent, your husband has just decided to up and leave, how are you feeling in your mind? So how should that reflect how the society should then treat you?
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know, Nasha is talking like everybody knows that. So just to, okay, what she's saying is I got pregnant when I was 19, and it wasn't an easy thing.
Wow.
And of course, it was so, I didn't even know where to start, what to do, because you're only 19, And of course, my college mate was like, so we are both, you are both, and you and I'm thinking, hey, but I thank God that I didn't go that direction. And it is first of all, that person is going through a very tough time. Number one, they are pregnant, and I'm not advocating that you get, if you're not yet pregnant, please abstain. Please wait for the right time. But if at all it has happened, life happens, and it is not the end of the world. And I want to talk to the society. Don't stigmatize such people. They need support, because they can easily go into depression. So support them. Don't stigmatize them. And I'm not saying that it is. I want to make a disclaimer. That child who will be born the child is not sin. The sin is the action. But that child will come with his or her own blessings, because God will really, I can testify, our daughter right now, she's such a blessing that I always imagine kama ningesikiza my friend to abort, she would not be there. And now she's doing an amazing job. She's such a mentor to her two younger sisters. So what I would say, don't be psychologically distressed. And if you're feeling so stressed, talk to someone. Don't walk in that journey alone. And it is not the end of the world. And the society, please let us support our young girls. Let us support divorces. Let us support anyone in your area who is going through a tough time. Let them not feel stigmatized, because stigma has cost a lot. They're already stressed about it. You don't need to rub it in. You don't need to make it worse for them, but just support them. So don't stigmatize people. And if you're in that situation, I pray that the peace of God be your portion. I pray that the Lord connects you to right people who will walk with you and support you in that journey, because it is not the end of the world. God has good plans for you to give you a future and a hope. So don't despair.
Wow.
Yes.
Thank you so much. This is so nice. I wish, Yani, thank you so much. And yeah, I think this is going to touch so many lives. And if you have any more questions that you'd like to pass to Pastor Emma, feel free, comment section. You can ask the questions. If it's a personal question, feel free to ask me on my Instagram or my Facebook. My Instagram, I think, is at Nyashangoloma. Facebook, the same, Nyashangoloma. Yeah, just ask your questions. Tell me whatever it is that maybe you like, the things you've liked the most from this video. And yeah, we'll be sure to answer them in the coming episodes. So yeah, thank you so much. See you soon.
See you soon.
Yes.
It was such a joy.
Yes, and nakwambia this is just the perfect mentor couple. Ameletwa hapa na mtu, kuna bodyguard hapa mahali. So ukiona ana smile hivi, yeah, she's comfortable. Somebody is around here. Yeah, and I think a big shout out to the men and the women who have decided to step into those roles that other people didn't feel were necessary, or other people maybe because of God's timing maybe passed on or were not there, like, or just maybe relationship that didn't work out. Like a big up to those people who stepped in, the men who became fathers by choice, and not just by we gave birth to this one, so lazima tu akue mtoto wetu. People who chose, the mothers who chose to raise other people's children. God bless you, manze. God bless you, and yeah, Yani, God bless you so much. Yeah.
Amen.
Yes.
Amen.
Thank you so much.
Most welcome.
Yes.
So that's joy.
Awesome. Me too. So see you guys. Wow, that was amazing. Thank you so much, Pastor Emma. I hope you've been blessed out there. I think our take home is there is hope. Okay? So it doesn't matter whatever circumstance you're going through, whether you're a single parent because of mtu alitoroka akakuacha, or because you are just married and it didn't work out and you divorced the person. It doesn't matter. There is hope. Don't be in despair. Don't feel like God doesn't love you. Don't feel like you just have to settle for the next thing that looks like is able to. No. Like, there is hope for a beautiful godly future, success for your children, success for you. And yes, seek help. You can't do everything by yourself. So if you feel like hapa mahali umefika you can't really help yourself, please seek help. We have counselors, even from my church, ICC. I think you can find them on Instagram as ICC Nairobi, or ICC_Nairobi. Yeah. Just send them an inbox and ask them to maybe just connect you to a counselor or the counseling department, and I'm sure they'll help you. If you're out there and you want to solemnize your union, you've been living together and you just want to bring it before God and bless it, it doesn't have to be a big wedding. It can just be literally you, your best couple, and the pastor, full stop. Come, there's a beautiful thing that's called the marriage blessing class in ICC also, which you can come and be a part of. And after that, you graduate and you're able to do your wedding and you solemnize your union. So God bless you. Have an amazing week. See you again next week, God willing. And I'm so excited about this. It's happening, guys. This is episode 2 down. So thank you, Jesus. Awesome. Bye.